Hello, everybody. My name's Daryl Herbert. I'm an osteopath of 35 years in clinical practice and a similar number of years in teaching in the United Kingdom and all over Europe and a lot of the rest of the world. I teach osteopathic manipulation techniques. The course title that I work with is Minimal Lever Mid-Range. This is an approach that is different from long lever techniques, HVLA. It has its own style, its own process, and it's focused on making sure that techniques are safe and comfortable, gentle, and yet specific whilst being efficient and effective within the build-up process. We look at the whole spine, and we try to ensure that the course is very practical whilst maintaining good theory supported by as much current research as possible. And generally, people have great fun at the course, which is what I like to do too. Minimal lever techniques are developed through 3 levels of course. Doesn't mean that each one is a further enhancement on the previous, but it's just different names and titles. So level 1 is generally an introduction to the minimal lever techniques for the spine, cervical, thoracic, and lumbar. We tend to look at the mid sections of those spines. We try to also introduce a little bit to the sacroiliac joints and maybe some side bending minimal lever techniques. Level 2 is all about the junction joints or the Übergang, which is C0, C1, C1, C2, C7, T1, T12, L1, L5, S1. These are the difficult joints for a number of reasons. The mechanics and the anatomy of these joints are different from the basic mid regions of the spine, which makes them much more complicated. So we need to understand why they're difficult. And I go through all of this with clear explanations and then practical applications to try and make the techniques as easy as possible. A third level is to do primarily with the extremities, which are the joints of the arms and the legs. We cover each joint and we look at different techniques, some of which are specific mobilizing techniques, but most are manipulative techniques, still following the minimal lever mid-range style. And the extremity course allows us to do a little bit of repetition from the previous 2 and some techniques to the ribs so that we can make sure that we have full development of the whole spine and the whole skeleton. Again, further enhancing people's experience and for making good clinical practice.